Fragile Lives. The tragic mystery of the 27 Club fame promises the world, the lights, the roar of the crowd, the immortality of a name. But behind the stage and the cameras is a darker story, one woven through decades of music and myth. Today, we're exploring the most haunting pattern in entertainment history, the 27 Club, a group of legendary artists who all died at the exact same age. Whether coincidence or curse, their endings shaped culture, defined generations, and left behind questions that still echo today. We begin with Robert Johnson, the original mythmaker. Born in the early 1900s, he transformed the blues with a sound people swore wasn't human. The legend claimed he sold his soul to the devil at a crossroads in exchange for talent. But at 27, Johnson died after being poisoned, likely by a jealous husband. It was a quiet, lonely death for a man who would later influence nearly every major rock musician who followed. His story became the foundation of the 27 Club mythology. Robert Johnson's rare recordings crackle with haunted brilliance. In small Delta rooms, he stunned crowds with impossible timing. His slide guitar lines helped shape rock's DNA. Rumors swirled about talent beyond his years, feeding a lasting mythology without clear origin. He roamed juke joints across the Delta, refining open-tuned, polyrhythmic blues and a voice full of ghosts. Decades later, guitar giants studied his licks. The 27 Club's modern legend traces back to the shadow he cast. Next is Brian Jones, the founder of the Rolling Stones. He created the band, shaped their early sound, and played more instruments than anyone else on stage. But fame pushed him deeper into addiction and isolation. In 1969, after being fired from the band he created, he was found dead at the bottom of his swimming pool. The coroner called it death by misadventure, but rumors of foul play have followed the case for decades. One of rock's brightest innovators, gone before he ever found peace. Then came Jimi Hendrix, the man who reinvented the guitar. His music sounded like electricity set on fire, and he could make a single note feel like a storm. But behind the genius was exhaustion, pressure, and a body pushed beyond its limits. In 1970, Jimi died in London after taking sleeping pills and suffocating in his sleep. He was 27. The world lost a once-in-a-century talent, and rock lost a piece of its soul. Just 16 days later, Janis Joplin followed. Raw, powerful, and heartbreakingly vulnerable, Janis had a voice that could shake the walls and a loneliness she could never outrun. She was finishing her album Pearl, the masterpiece that would define her legacy, when she overdosed on heroin in a Los Angeles hotel room. She died alone, just hours before she was scheduled to record the final track. Her voice still echoes, but the woman behind it burned out too soon. Less than a year later, in 1971, Jim Morrison of The Doors joined the list. He was the poet of rock, a performer who felt half prophet, half flame. But Jim was sinking under the weight of addiction and fame. In Paris, he was found dead in his bathtub. No autopsy was ever performed, and the official cause was heart failure, a vague answer that launched 1,000 theories. Some fans still believe he faked his death. What's certain is that the world lost one of the most enigmatic figures in music, at just 27. The pattern faded for a while, until it returned with a new generation. Kurt Cobain, the voice of the 1990s, reshaped music with a rawness that spoke to millions of people who felt unseen. He was brilliant, tortured, and overwhelmed by the scale of his own influence. In 1994, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, leaving behind a note that shook an entire generation. His death reignited the myth. Why 27? Why so many? Why the brightest flames? And then came Amy Winehouse. A voice like smoke, a soul like a storm. Amy's talent felt ancient, as if she had lived 1,000 musical lives before this one. But addiction and fame crushed her from every angle. In 2011, she died of alcohol poisoning, again at 27. The world mourned a voice that felt too big for one lifetime, gone in a moment that felt unbearably familiar. 7 legends. 7 lives that shaped music, art, and culture. 7 deaths that left the world asking the same questions. Is 27 a coincidence? A curse? Or simply the age when fame's pressure becomes too heavy for even the brightest stars? The truth is that the 27 Club isn't a supernatural phenomenon. It's a symbol, a reminder that brilliance doesn't protect anyone from pain, that fame doesn't guarantee safety, and that even the most iconic legends were human, fragile, hurting, and overwhelmed. The 27 Club is a myth built from real lives, real struggles, and real endings. What they left behind, the music, the poetry, the power, still lives today. And maybe that's why the myth endures. Because these artists didn't just die young. They became immortal. If this story moved you, hit like, tell me which artist's story hit you hardest, and subscribe for more Fragile Lives, where legends live forever. But their stories remind us how fragile life truly is.